From Hyatt Regencies to Airbnbs, this time I'm doing family travel a little different. I've traded in my Regency Club happy hour for afternoon tapas. Join me as I take my son and his friends to Spain as we tour two epic cities, Madrid and Barcelona. This was my second trip to Spain, and I made one big change that completely transformed the experience. The first time I visited, I spent most of my time in Madrid. This time, I flipped the itinerary and gave Barcelona most of my attention. Honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions I've made. Now don't get me wrong, Madrid is a must-do. We used the time to recover from jet lag, and we even got to explore some of the city's most iconic spots. We stayed in a great Airbnb, and I crossed off one of the world's 50 best bars off the list. But once I got to Barcelona, everything changed. From the beaches and breathtaking architecture to incredible food, unforgettable day trips, and one travel mistake that still makes me cringe today. Barcelona completely won me over. If you're planning a trip to Spain or wondering, is it worth going back for a second visit? This video is going to change how you plan your itinerary.
Good morning from Madrid. We are staying near the train station called Otacha. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but we're staying at an Airbnb, and our Airbnb, I think, is conveniently located. While it is not near the middle of city center, it's about a 20-minute walk, but it's super cute here. We are situated next to an elementary school. It seems like this is a neighborhood filled with families. So our Airbnb is on the ground floor. And one of the great things is that you can hear the kids playing at the park while indoors. Now, for some of you who want complete peace and quiet, that might not be the best option for you. But being surrounded by the parks, close to the train station, lots of shops, and even laundromat and luggage storage are close by, makes it a perfect choice for me. So I'm sitting here on these little horses that are in this playground right in front of our Airbnb. And like I said, it's super convenient for us. And I think this is a great place for families. So our Airbnb can hold, I would say, right now we are 6, and I'm pretty sure you could fit 2 more people in there. So in the Airbnb, as soon as you walk in, there is a pull-out couch, and there is a private room in the back. But on the other side of the Airbnb, there are a couple of bunk beds and 2 lofts. Right now I'm traveling with 5 teenage boys, and we are very comfortable. So if you're a family of 5, even 6, this is definitely a place I would recommend that you stay. The unit does have a washer and dryer, but the washer and dryer takes forever to wash and dry. So if you don't mind doing it overnight, it's perfectly fine. There is also a laundromat, I kid you not, 2 minutes walk away from the Airbnb. The supermarket is across the street. There's tons of restaurant here. So this is a place that you get great value for. I'm going to put the price up on the screen. I think for the 5 of us splitting up, it was a great value. I'll put the link for the Airbnb down in the description. Special thing about Madrid is that there's something that happened here that I had no idea would turn into a travel tradition, especially when traveling through Europe.
I wandered into a Primark for the first time, and initially it was just a store to kill time and ease the jet lag while adjusting to a new time zone. Somewhere between the affordable prices and finding things here that I could not find at home, I was hooked. Fast forward to today, if there is a Primark in a city I'm visiting, there is a 99% chance that you will find me walking through those doors. It all started right here in Madrid. Before leaving the city, I checked off another travel goal off of my list. In addition to visiting Primark, I try to look up the world's top 50 bars. And if possible, I try to visit them when I visit a new city. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know I love seeking out new experiences. The cocktails here were creative. Okay, I trust you now. This is so good. The atmosphere was vibrant, and it was a perfect way to wrap up my short stay in Madrid. The following day, we packed up our stuff and headed on a train to Barcelona. We arrived in Barcelona pretty early, so our Airbnb wasn't quite ready. Honestly, it worked out perfectly because it gave us a chance to explore the neighborhood before unpacking. The first thing we did was find food. We stumbled across a little taco spot nearby, and it was exactly what we needed after a morning of traveling. Nothing fancy, just good food and a chance to recharge and relax while we waited to check in. Our Airbnb was in the Garcia neighborhood, and I'll admit, I wasn't completely sold on it when we booked it. Barcelona Airbnbs are definitely more expensive than the ones we found in Madrid, so we ended up paying a little bit more for a little less space. At first, I wondered if we should have just stayed closer to the touristy areas, but the longer we stayed, the more the neighborhood grew on us. It had a completely different feel from the busy parts of Barcelona. It was quiet, more local, and everything we needed were just a few blocks away. We had bakeries, grocery stores, cafes, restaurants, and little shops. It felt like a little neighborhood where people actually live, instead of just one built for tourists. The best part, even though it felt tucked away, we were only about a mile away from some of the biggest attractions in Barcelona. We could spend the day exploring the city and then come back to the neighborhood where it felt relaxed and authentic. After checking into our Airbnb, we decided to take it easy for the rest of the afternoon. Bathroom is pretty small, but we managed to make it work. There's a pull-out sofa here that sleeps 2 people. Dining room. And then there are 2 full-size bunk beds here. Lots of outlets. I love the tree stump as a table. And lamps. This is the enclosed bedroom. You got a desk, mirror. Now the problem is this window led to outside, and right on the corner there is a gelato shop. This is a pretty busy street, so if you're a light sleeper, you're gonna hear the noise. And there's a bench here when the gelato shop is open, so people sit there and chit chat. This is, I don't know, double bed. 2 people can fit here. It's pretty comfortable. Lots of chargers on both sides. Pretty big closet. I would say the one downside about this place is no full-size mirror. That room's interior, so there's no window, but it gets the light from the outside. There is a little outside patio. That absolutely goes to nowhere. That evening, we had a reservation for another one of the world's top 50 bars. This time, It was Sips, and it was ranked number 3 in the world at the time of our visit. Since the boys were traveling with us, I wanted them to experience what a world-class cocktail bar was like. It wasn't so much about the drinks, but more about the experience, the creativity, the presentation, the atmosphere, and the level of service. It ended up being one of those experiences that we will always remember. Afterwards, we hopped on the metro to explore a little more of Barcelona at night. And that brings me to one of my favorite travel tips for this city. If you're traveling with a family or a group, don't make the mistake of buying individual transit cards for everyone. Instead, buy a multi-trip ticket. Multiple people can use the same card and load it with enough trips for the entire group. You simply tap it once for each traveler as they enter the station. It ended up being much cheaper than if everyone purchased their own pass, and it made getting around Barcelona incredibly easy. It's these little travel tips that can save you money, and over the course of a trip, those savings really add up.
This morning, I'm going for a run, and I hope to run past the Sagrada Família, maybe some other landmarks today. But basically, I just want to get a tour of the city on foot. So I've been to Spain before, a few years ago. Came to Madrid and Barcelona, but Barcelona was always my favorite. Just like the energy of the city. I love the beach. I don't know, it's just one of my favorite cities in Europe. And I'm going to show you why. Today's my lucky day. You would not believe what I found. It's a local 5K about to start. How cool is that? I think they're starting off with a mile for the kiddos. Oh my god, this is too adorable. Another reason I love Barcelona. That was random for me. I'm sure they've been planning this forever. But I'm just grateful to be able to witness that. Now I've got to finish my 5K. One of the reasons I fell in love with this city was this building. Sagrada Família. And the only reason I knew about this building was when we came here a few years ago. It was February and it was freezing. And we weren't properly dressed and we needed to get inside somewhere to stay warm. It was $50 for both of us to get in. And I was like, we're going inside and staying as long as we can to keep warm. But I didn't understand the beauty of it back then. But now, I marvel at this amazing building and just look at it. Alright, so here's a funny story. We booked tickets for this, for all 5 of us. And as you know, I love to mess some shit up. And I forgot our appointment. I thought our appointment was on the 16th, but it was actually on the 13th. And so we lost those tickets. That's always something when you travel with me. But maybe we can try to get other tickets. But if not, we'll just marvel at it from the outside. The race has made it all the way to in front of my Airbnb. So I'm gonna go cheer on some of the runners.
All right, yeah.
If you're ever out and about, whether you're at home or traveling somewhere, and you happen to come up on a race, come out, support the runners, cheer them on. You have no idea how much difference that makes. I finally made it out of the Airbnb. It's only like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I wanted to show you some of the stuff that is located literally within a 1-block radius of the Airbnb. Now, to tell you the truth, I was very hesitant about this Airbnb at first because when we came, the street seemed kind of dead. There weren't many shops open, but then I realized as I explore some more, there are tons of things around. There's a bakery, a gelato store, the ATM is right around the corner, there's a church, and tons of supermarkets nearby. It's only a mile to the Sagrada Família. Las Ramblas is a train right away, just a few stops, and everything is pretty close by. Now in an Airbnb, nobody's making breakfast for you. You gotta do it all by yourself. So while here staying in this neighborhood, we found the local supermarkets and amazing bakeries where you can create your own globalist breakfast. Today's Sunday. It's quite busy for a Sunday. I think this is like a bohemian chic type neighborhood, but I would stay here again. Again, like I said, there's everything you need in a 1-block radius. Now extend a couple more blocks and you probably never have to leave this neighborhood. So one thing that I find extremely interesting is all the intersections here. They have a little alcove. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you think of an intersection in the US, it's a street going up, street going across, they're perpendicular to each other. Here, what I noticed, they carve out a little piece of the intersection, and it creates like its own little square in every intersection, where they set up tables, there's places to park, that's where the communal garbage place is, and it just makes every intersection feel like it's own little town square. I don't know, it's very interesting, probably kind of weird, but I love it. And it makes me feel like I could live here. I could take the train for 25 minutes or walk for 35. I choose to walk so I can see all the sights. I'm standing outside the famous Casa Mila, constructed by none other than the Spanish artist Gaudi. This is a very popular tourist spot and you have to buy tickets in advance. So if this is something that you're interested in visiting, definitely book your tickets days, maybe even weeks before your arrival. I'm gonna put this on my list of things to do next time I come to Barcelona. So behind me is the other famous house by Gaudi. This is called Casa Batlló. But this one is different from the other house, which is actually just down the street. If you come here at night, you get to experience it in a different way. The light show here kind of reminds me of the experience you'd have if you went to Team Labs in Tokyo. If you come to Barcelona, you definitely want to come check this place out. It can't be missed. It should be on everyone's list. My 35-minute tour somehow turned into an hour-long walk because of all the sightseeing I did. I have made it to Placa de Catalunya. I think I said that right. I have been practicing and I think I got it down. Now, many political demonstrations have been held here. There's lots of shopping. There's the Apple Store, the famous fountain, and tons of places to see on the street. Behind me is the famous department store called El Corte de Ingles, and it's very much like a Macy's type department store. But someone told me they have great food at a reasonable price, and if you go to the top floor, you can get some of the best views of Barcelona. Whether you're looking for a quick lunch, a snack, or just somewhere to escape the summer heat, this place has just about everything you could want. All right, so I made it to the cafe. First, you pick up this card, check out the different options that they have here. Once you get your cart, you're gonna pick up a tray or maybe even multiple trays. Since Barcelona sits right on the Mediterranean, fresh seafood is everywhere. And of course, they had plenty of paella to choose from.
There was also a sushi counter making fresh rolls to order, a dessert section that would test your self-control, a grill serving perfectly cooked steak, fresh fruit, freshly squeezed juices, and even a wine bar with an impressive selection. Now, if you know me, I'm pretty frugal, and as tempting as everything looked, I decided to keep it simple. There's just something about a fresh, crunchy sandwich that's always calling my name. So I'm not very adventurous, so I just decided to go with the chicken sandwich. Can't go wrong with that, right? I know, I'm in Barcelona, I should try the seafood, but not that adventurous. Not today. Thank you very much. Yeah, my boring old chicken sandwich. So while I got a boring old sandwich, I am gonna have a glass of wine. It was light, refreshing, and perfect for the hot summer afternoon. This place, I know I use the word epic a lot, but it is pretty epic. I'm here thinking if every department store in the United States that had a great location had a cafe on top, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't go out of business. My sandwich was 6 euros. My glass of wine was 3 euros, and they had sweet wine, A+. And I'm sitting here at the window, looking at the fountains, down at the plaza, and I can't imagine a better afternoon. So travel doesn't have to be expensive. Again, I found this nice place, beautiful views, great food, and it was relatively inexpensive. I'm gonna finish up here, and I have some more places that I want to explore in Barcelona, and I'm gonna share them all with you. If you like this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what is your favorite thing to do when you travel. I love to learn about cheap eats, so leave them down in the comments. This ended up being one of my favorite hidden gems in Barcelona. You can get great food, plenty of options no matter what you're craving, and it's the perfect place to cool off a bit before heading back out to explore the city. Made it out of El Corte de Ingles. Now I'm gonna head to Barceloneta. I hear Paradiso, one of the world's top bars, is in that location, and also some famous cheesecake spot. Let's see if we can get both of them done today. After lunch, I headed across the street to Plaça de Catalunya. Again, I think I'm butchering that. This is one of Barcelona's most famous gathering places. This is where the locals meet up. Visitors start their walking tours and explore the city from here, and you can also find performers, artists, and vendors, adding to the energy of the square. From there, I wandered into the Gothic Quarter. And this is where Barcelona started to win me over. Around every corner was a narrow street or another hidden plaza that looked like it belonged in a movie. One of my favorite discoveries was the Barcelona Cathedral. Even though I didn't go inside, it's worth stopping by to admire the incredible architecture. Go ahead and snap a few photos, take some Instagram videos. This is just one of those places that shows you how much history you can pack into a city. So I went to the TikTok famous John Cake to try their cheesecake. And as soon as we got in the store, after waiting forever in the line, they ran out of original and pistachio cheesecake, the top two things I had on my list. So I'm left with banana cream cheesecake. And tell you the truth, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. It's sweet, but the banana is not very overpowering. And there is a hint of chocolate in the crust. I would say it's definitely worth waiting in the line for. I can't wait to go back tomorrow to try the original and the pistachio. Next on my list was another one of the world's top 50 bars, Paradiso. At the time of our visit, it was ranked among the very best in the world, and after seeing all the videos online, I couldn't wait to experience it myself. The atmosphere was exactly what you'd expect from a world-famous speakeasy. Low lighting, beautiful wood finishes, and creative decor. To enter the bar, you have to go through a cafe, and there are some doors that look like refrigerator doors. This is what leads you into the speakeasy. One thing I really appreciated was the hospitality. Before I was seated, the staff welcomed me with a small palate cleanser drink, which was a nice touch before diving into their signature cocktails. Whenever I visit a cocktail bar like this, I always like to grab a seat at the bar. I love chit-chatting with the bartenders and hearing their recommendation and learning a little more about the drinks that they are creating. I told the bartender exactly what I liked. Something sweet, a little tangy, and definitely strong. And they absolutely understood the assignment. The cocktail was served in a beautiful seashell, and the presentation alone made the experience feel like more than a drink. Now, if I had to compare it to the other two bars we visited in Spain, I would rank this one as number 3. I would say the one in Madrid was definitely number 1 on my list, followed by the Sips bar we visited on our first night. Paradiso is fantastic, and I would absolutely recommend it if it fits in your budget. Of course, Instagram wasn't done influencing my trip yet. Right across the street was another viral dessert spot that everyone seemed to be talking about. I'll be honest with you, it didn't quite live up to the hype. It looked great on camera, but the gelato was just okay. Not every viral recommendation is a winner, and this is probably one of them that I'd skip next time. And with that, I called it a night because we had a really early morning tomorrow. Today, we're leaving the busy streets of Barcelona behind to see a completely different side of Spain, Costa Brava. This is a day trip I definitely recommend. And our first stop was a beautiful beach. We had time to explore the beach, the shops along the coastline, and the guide gave us a rundown of the day. We'll be starting off by kayaking, exploring sea caves, and maybe even jumping off of some cliffs. They did offer everyone some wetsuits, and at first I thought, nah, I don't need one. It's the middle of summer in Spain. Then I touched the water.
That cold water.
Now, as your resident local Jamaican, I do not negotiate with cold water.
We're on the beach. Somewhere in Spain. I don't even know because I fell asleep on the bus ride.
And the Mediterranean had other plans. Let's just say I was very happy I accepted the wetsuit. Once I got on the water though, it was incredible. James took over the paddling, which honestly was great for me.
My little rower in the back. I don't think I need to work, James.
We spent some time kayaking and visiting some of the sea caves, which was incredible. I cannot tell you enough how much I already enjoyed this experience, and it was just the beginning. Eventually, we reached the part where everyone had been waiting for. The guide pulled us aside and gave us a few safety instructions before we went to dive off the cliffs. Now, as the responsible adult of 5 teenage boys, my job was very simple. Remind them to be safe, don't do anything crazy, and think before they jump. Their jobs?
We're not doing any backflips. We're not doing any backflips. No backflipping. No backflip.
Estaba súper bien.
Their jobs, apparently, was to pretend they didn't hear a word I said.
Yo, I told this kid not to do a backflip. Look at James? They don't listen. His mom was the most. Oh my God! Marcus! Did that work? I felt it. Good. Follow your gut, Marcus. Follow your gut.
Thankfully, everyone survived, and I admit, watching them have so much fun in the freezing water made me think I could do it too. Eventually, I convinced myself to climb up to one of the cliffs. Standing at the top, I looked down and immediately started questioning every life decision that has led me to this exact moment. My heart was pounding, my palms were sweaty, and I absolutely convinced myself that I was about to plummet to my death. Watching the footage back, I actually realized how hilarious it was because I realized that the entire jump, from the moment my feet left the rock until the time I hit the water, was probably less than 2 seconds. 2 whole seconds. But somehow, while I was in the air, it felt like enough time to review all my life choices, update my will, and do a little estate planning before I hit the water. Thankfully, none of this was necessary. The second I surfaced, I couldn't stop smiling. It was such an adrenaline rush and easily one of the highlights of the trip. I would definitely do it again.
All right, one more time. Hit it up, hit it up. Get Claudia's money worth.
James, let's go. I'm blind, bro.
I might just need a few minutes to talk myself into jumping first. After an incredible day at the beach, we were excited to get back on the bus. Everyone was ready to take a nap on the way back to Barcelona. Well, that's when the drama started. About halfway through the drive, the air conditioning decided it was done for the day. And while I could normally deal with the heat, temperatures got up to over 90 degrees inside the bus. After about 45 minutes of slowly melting in our seats, I asked the driver if there was something he could do. Eventually, they opened up the emergency roof vent, and while it cooled down the bus a bit, it still was very hot. Once we got back to Barcelona, the only way to end the night was with great food. So I took the boys to Lolita's, a restaurant that I've been to before, and it did not disappoint. After dinner, I had all the boys call their moms to let them know they survived a day of cliff jumping and an overheated bus ride. The next day, it was time to pack our bags and head to our next destination. But before leaving Barcelona, we had to make a quick stop at John Cakes. I had been telling the boys about this cheesecake for the last couple of days, and so it was finally time for them to try it out. Thankfully, it lived up to their expectation. Everyone loved it. The only criticism was that it was different from the cakes we had in the US because our cheesecakes were refrigerated.
So they don't keep it like chilly.
And it's hot in there.
Looking back, the second trip completely changed the way I see this country. Madrid gave me another chance to appreciate everything it had to offer, and Barcelona definitely stole the show. Now it's time to see what adventure awaits us in our next city.